Howard Dean, Florida Eco Network. Are you familiar with the chemtrails where they're spraying chemicals in the air for global warming and they're creating havoc on the ground?
I've had definitely people email me about that, and I don't know enough about it to speak to it, but I sure do know that a lot of people email me and have concerns and questions about it.
Yeah, we're finding like 6,000 times the toxic levels of aluminum in Phoenix, and molds and funguses, and 26 heavy metals around the country.
I'm aware of it. It's been brought to my attention, but could that be this problem here?
Well, I don't know. It is
so.
Toxifying the food and water through the U.S. and in Europe. So
I'm aware of it, and it hasn't been something that I've delved into. You know, kind of what I still do is a lot of groundwater contamination.
Aluminum, barium, titanium, are those radiation level or toxins?
Yeah, we've been looking at radium-226, 228. There's going to be searches for strontium-90 and certain chemicals that possibly, will help us as a fingerprint to where it could be coming from.
Does radium-226, is it always man-made? I thought it was also naturally occurring.
Yeah, it's not always man-made. We're specifically looking for, and we have found, radioactive materials that are not naturally occurring.
So you have found that. Okay.
Is this, in terms of degree of severity, how does this measure up to the other cases that you've been called into in other places?
Well, they're different, and there's different chemicals involved. I mean, I'm surprised at the number of hexavalent chromium cases that exist around the country. I mean, I deal with cases where it's arsenic in groundwater, hexavalent chromium in groundwater, solvents in groundwater, TCE, PCE. This is very different because of, at the moment, what appears to be a problem is radioactive issues in the groundwater and the number of children and women presenting with brain tumors or cancer.
Is this pretty bad, or is it mild? How would you describe it based on the number of things you've done over the years and this one that you're looking at now?
Well, everything that I've done always starts out with one, and then it grows from there. So to come into a situation where you've got 25, 30, 35 looking you straight in the face, that's unusual for me.
Did you say chromium? Chromium, because they had 282 times the toxic limit of chromium over Phoenix air supply.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of hexavalent chromium work still. And like I said, I'm familiar with chemtrails, but it is something that I haven't started working on. So I wouldn't be the right person to answer those questions.
Well, we're here to help engage with you and raise the money for you to take on some of that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
If you lived out there, would you drink the water? If you lived out on the acreage? What advice would you give to people who live out there?
Pardon me?
Do you live in California?
You live in California?
Yeah, I still live in California.
Are you familiar with California Skywatch, where they detected high spiking levels of toxic chemicals in the water supply?
They've emailed me, but I haven't started working with them yet.
Rosalind Peterson and all that.
It gets hard sometimes as one person to go, 1,000 different directions, which is again why I work so closely with the firms, because they do provide teams that are here to try and find some answers.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Harry,
Teams
My name is Howard Dean. I'm with the Florida Eco Network, and I didn't know if people here are aware that there's a phenomenon called chemtrails, where the military is spraying chemicals in the air to reflect the sun for global warming. They're putting 10 million metric tons of chemicals in the air to reflect 1 to 2% of the sun, and that's their mandate for global warming. So if you want to know more about that, we have the Florida Eco Network. I did a documentary. It's up on YouTube. And I have some cards here for people as they're leaving. The chemicals we're finding
question is whether irrigation or watering the lawn would be a significant, potentially significant exposure to radioactivity in water. The best answer I give you